Oh, Sony, Jimmy boy, Jimbo. Now in games, my callouts might not be the best, but I sure as hell did call out the fact that the reason Sony's slapping Dbrands with a lawsuit or a C&D cease and desist is because they were going to make their own colored plates. And they announced them today. I'm going to talk about 3 other options for customizing your PS5 besides going with Sony's licensed plates. Some of these you probably already know. Some of them you might not have even thought about, and some of them might not even matter to you because you might not have a PS5 yet. Let's get this thing. So a lot of PS5 owners do not like the reverse Oreo design that Sony went with, and it doesn't really go with a lot of people's themes or setups, and it's just kind of bland and sterile. Now, Sony did mention during a press release prior to the PlayStation 5's launch, it was about 3 months prior to them launching the PlayStation 5, that they did intend to take full advantage of the design of it having removable side plates and make different color or theme plates and different colored controllers. And finally, over 1 year after the launch of the PlayStation 5, they have made good on this promise. Sharing my screen over here, we're going to go over some of the options for customizing your PS5. The first one we're going to cover is Sony's license plates over here. They retail for $55 for a set of 2 pieces of plastic. The controllers do not come with it, and they do not sell it as a bundle. That is the first mistake in my opinion. It just makes sense that you would bundle it at a slight discount to the consumer. Whatever. When and where can you buy these plates? They're going to start rolling out to vendors, as Sony says, so most likely Amazon, maybe Walmart, but definitely like Amazon and Best Buy, January of 2022, which is well, that's about 15-16 days away. My God, I cannot believe we're almost closing out 2021. Oh boy, this year, at least for me, has gone by lickety split. It might have dragged ass for some of you Stallions and Stallionettes, but I think because I was so busy this year, it just blew by. And by the way, we are going to do an end of year recap, not only for the channel, but also just some personal things I want to mention as well. I'm not getting like a sex change operation or anything like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's not what I'm going to be sharing with you guys at the end of the month. Get back to the video, Kevin. This is getting weird. This first comment right down here. Finally, took you long enough. So besides buying Sony's official license plates, which are not only expensive, but they're not available yet, they're not on the market, there are a couple of other options. You have Dbrands over here, which makes dark plates. They did get sued. Then they came back. It was about 48 hours after the lawsuit with Dark Plates 2.0 as they changed up the design a little bit, removed the flaps and whatnot, which I actually like this rounded design. Some people don't. They prefer the jagged lines, but these generally go for $89. And you can choose a different vinyl wrap or decal for the center section. You can also add LED strips, but of course that's going to increase the price and whatnot. I do recommend if you do want RGB/LED lights, use the kit that I have linked in the description below. Comes with a little remote control. So these are actually more expensive than Sony's official license offering. Hey, just a little add in there, Kevin. I'm editing the video right now. You're doing a great job. You're super entertaining. But the reason I do not recommend Dbrand's LED or RGB light kits is they are only one static color. They don't have different modes you can swap through. They don't come with a remote. It's one permanent color. So if you ever change up your theme color or you want a different color because you're feeling frisky on a certain day, you can't do that. Not to mention this has like modes that you can breathe through, and it's cheaper. Now coming over here to Amazon, if you just search for PS5 plates, you're going to get a whole heck of a lot of results over here. These first 2 are sponsored, so we'll just skip over those. But look at this one here, $37 with a 5% coupon. $37, $35, $30, $40, $35. $35, all these generic options out here. The only issue with these and Dbrands included is that you do not have the PlayStation logo on the top left section of the PlayStation 5. They don't own the licensing to use that logo. The next option, and this is one that I strongly do recommend, is painting your own plates. Yes, indeed, spray painting, which if you do it correctly, i.e. prepping the surface, then using 2 to 3 coats of a primer, or using a paint and primer mix like we did, then properly spraying 3 to 5 coats of your base or color, and then following up with 3 to 5 coats of clear, whether that's matte or gloss. They look virtually indistinguishable from any of these other panels. You can get a paint and primer spray can of your color of choice for about $5 at Walmart, and then a can of gloss or matte clear coat for about $5 or $6. And another option for you, and this is a very, very good option, is to do something like a decal or vinyl kit. Now, there is the downside to that would be that you can still see the white, on the edges, and on the inside. Pro or benefit of this is if you ever go to sell this console or trade it into GameStop or something, you can just peel these stickers off and it looks like a standard or OEM factory console. So that's kind of cool. Or if you get sick of the design, you don't need to go out and buy new plates or repaint or anything. You just peel these off and buy yourself a new decal kit. The next option, if you want a very customized looking PS5, a very unique graphic or design, you can hydro dip. Now, I have done hydro dipping tutorials on controllers and PC components on this channel. It's kind of a pain in the rump in comparison to something like just rattle canning or spray painting. It's a lot more involved. You need specific chemicals called an activator. They are very harsh. You're going to need a respirator. You're going to need a large tote to fill up with water that has to be at a specific temperature. Then you need to buy hydro dipping graphic film, which is expensive. Then if you don't do it correctly, it's going to look like ass and you're going to have to keep re-hydro dipping. But if you do it correctly, again, I do have a tutorial. It'll be linked in the description below. You can get a really unique looking PS5. And that's my biggest issue here, is that all of these plates are relatively bland or boring. They're one solid color, and Sony had hinted around that they were going to do some awesome unique designs around some of their exclusives. So maybe like a Ghost of Tsushima or a Last of Us or a Spider-Man or a God of War theme that was maybe raised. The shell was actually had some texturing to it. So in my humble opinion, I do think there is great potential for customizing a PlayStation 5 due to that design having those plates that easily pop on and off. However, I feel like it has been savagely underutilized by companies like Dbrand and Sony. For one, Sony's late to their own party, arriving a year late. I feel like if they're charging 60, 70 bucks, at least have some actual 3D texturing, unique theme or graphic design. I don't know why Sony's not bundling a controller, a DualSense controller with the plates. For somebody like myself, which I know a lot of you Stallions and Stallionettes out there are quite like-minded with this topic, you just don't want to have the same exact thing that everybody else has. I'm a little bit underwhelmed by the current offerings on the market when it comes to customizing a PlayStation 5. So I think a lot of these options that I explained to you today are a good base for you to get started. But I think from there, let your creativity reign. Let your creativity run and create something unique. That's going to do it, Stallions. If you enjoyed this video, liking it will help it to get seen by more gamers. This information will reach and assist them as well. Subscribe for more content like this. I cover news in the gaming community and industry, as well as tutorials helping you get set up streaming and YouTubing, and honest gaming peripheral reviews, keyboards, mice, headsets, controllers, mics, boom arms, chairs, etc. By the way, if I'm talking fast, it's not crystal meth. I'm heavily caffeinated right now. Peace.